Hey everybody, it's Jack and Ollie, and today we're going to be testing your balance. And we're going to give you a fun exercise to boost your confidence on your feet.
A simple test that physios often use to assess someone's balance is the Y balance test. Now, this is a test where basically you're reaching out as far as you can in multiple directions using one of your foot while balancing on the other one. So for today's test, you're not going to need much equipment. You're either going to need a roll of tape that you can put down on the floor or a light object that you can push along the floor as an alternative, like a tissue box. So grab either of those things, get up, and let's get into the test. All right, first things first, let's set up the test. So hopefully you've got your tape prepared. All right, and hopefully you've been practicing your alphabet because you're going to have to make the letter Y, a capital Y, Jack.
That's right.
On the floor.
Okay, and these are around a meter in length, give or take a little bit. Ollie, I'm going to set up my Y shape first. Oh, I'll tell you, if you've got hairy arms, definitely don't try that. Ollie, can you hold that for me, good sir? And that really hurts as well. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to stand here with my feet together, and I'm just going to put a bit of tape out straight in front of my feet, okay? So I'm going to do this on the angle for video purposes. However, this is going to be a straight line from my standing position. Then all I'm going to do, I guess you'd call it the backwards Y, an upside down Y, is put this out at around kind of 5 o'clock, 4:30 on a clock face, okay? So there we go.
Pretty good.
Okay, and then I'm going to do the exact opposite for the other side there, okay? So it's kind of like a peace symbol. All right, how's that looking, Ollie?
That's looking pretty good.
Okay, so that's, yes, thank you, sir. So that's my Y setup. Now, Ollie, if someone doesn't have big strips of tape like this, what else can they do?
Okay, another solution to get an idea of your balance at home, especially if you haven't got the tape, mark a place on the floor where you're going to be keeping your single leg foot. All right, and then all you're going to need is a light object like a tissue box, all right, which we're going to use to push out in front of you. All right, and you can see that keeps the spot really well, and then we can just measure that with a tape measure instead of having to use the tape to mark on.
Okay, so make sure you set up your Y balance test ready for actually taking some scores.
Okay, let's give the Y balance test a go. Jack is going to start with the toe of his left foot, the big toe, on the center of the Y, just like that. He's going to stand on one leg, and really carefully, he's going to reach out and touch as far as he can on that front line. Beautiful. Now the key here is to make sure you just tap very gently. You're not putting lots of weight down on that front foot because then you're not challenging your balance. Beautiful. And Jack's going to reach out as far as he can. And it's useful to have a partner with a pen who can mark exactly where you touch down on the floor. Okay? And then we can go back and measure for that line.
Okay.
Then, Jack, we're going to repeat that for the other line. So Jack's going to reach out behind him. Okay, and we'll mark over there. All right, and then we'll do the hardest one, which is around the back. That's a really challenging position to get into. So typically that is less distance than the other two lines.
That's right on. And how many times would I go in each direction for measuring?
So take 3 attempts at each line and take your best attempt, making sure though that it is a really light touch and you're not putting your foot down in between each go.
Excellent. Okay, so that is 3 goes for each direction, and you would want to measure both feet. Okay, so I would then try it with my right foot for the exact same options there. Okay, now Ollie, that's with the tape, but as we said, if you don't have tape at home or you can't lay it out like that, you can use a tissue box or something similar that you can push along the ground. So Ollie's got his mark with a bit of tape, but this could easily be any marking you have on your floorboards or your tiles at home or something like that. And all Ollie's going to do now is slide the tissue box out as far as he can, obviously keeping it controlled, okay? We don't want any Cristiano Ronaldo punts through to the goalkeeper, okay? So he's going to push it out as far as he can whilst maintaining his balance, okay? And that's test number 1. And then what you could do, and you don't actually need a partner for this one, you could measure this yourself with a trusty measuring tape, okay? From the point of his big toe all the way to there, There you go, Ollie. That's 66 centimetres, good sir.
Okay.
Okay, and then you've got your test score. Now, what you can do again is push the box out to that kind of 5 o'clock, 4:30 mark on the clock face and see how you go there. Once again, measuring it with the tape. And then lastly, you can do that curtsy type push, okay, where we're pushing out to around 7 o'clock, 7:30 on the clock face. And then once again, measure with your measuring tape. Okay, you're going to try 3 times in each direction and with both legs importantly. What do you think, mate?
I think that's great. And then of course you're going to record your scores for each of the different directions.
Okay, how did you go with the test and how far out in each direction were you able to reach? And you also might be wondering, what's a good test score? Well, we don't think you should compare yourself too much to everyone else around you. We think you should record your own test score and then compare it to yourself in the future after, let's just say, 4 weeks of balance training. And then you can see if you've improved on your own test score. Mate, as they say, comparison is the thief of joy.
That's right, Jack. So just using the test to see how much you've improved after a period of training. Now, if you had trouble with the test, reaching out in each direction, perhaps keeping your balance, don't worry, because we have a fun exercise to get you going with your balance, improve your confidence so that you are more confident on your feet. And even if you did really well with the test, we're going to show you how to make the exercise more challenging so you can further improve your balance.
All right, we promised you a fun, challenging balance exercise to boost your confidence on your feet. Let's go through it now. This one is called clock taps. So what we're going to do is pretend we're on the middle of a clock face, okay, standing in the very center. And all we're going to be doing is tapping out to 4 different directions to start with. So if I'm in the center, in front of me is going to be 12 o'clock, okay? And I'm going to tap out as far as I can to 12 o'clock. 3 o'clock's to the right of me, 6 o'clock behind me, and then 9 o'clock to the left of me. And if you've got an analog watch on, don't cheat by looking at that. Now, the aim of this is to try to tap out as far as you can manage, okay, whilst maintaining your balance. And you can do an easier version where you're bringing that foot back to the middle every time, or you can do a harder version where you're keeping your foot up the whole time like this, okay? Now, that's going to be the way you can do it for both feet, but Ollie, what can you do with a partner?
Okay, if you have a partner, you can have them call out the numbers so that you have to react and then tap out in that direction. So I might say to Jack, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Geez, you're pushing the pace
3,
here, mate. Wow.
12, 6, 13. But you get the idea. So
1 o'clock.
Yeah, true. 1300. Knows it's 24-hour time. So that's a good way to make that one a bit more challenging.
Yeah, and you could do some combinations like 12, 6, 9, 3, 6. And you have to tap all of them in that order. Bit of cognitive work there as well, mate.
Okay. Now, to make this one even more challenging, we're going to show you clock slides. So that tissue box we used before, you're going to grab that or something like it. Now, instead of tapping out when I call out 12, Jack's going to slide that tissue box forwards to 12. Then when I say 3, he's going to grab it and move it over to 3. 9.
Oh, mate.
So this takes a lot of control not to crush the tissue box. 6.
Okay.
Don't crush it, mate.
Tough.
Good. So really focusing on the control on that single leg and not crushing the tissue box as you slide it around. Once again, you're trying to reach it out as far as you can, keeping that foot up in the air. How's that one, Jack?
Yeah, that is tough. You want something that can actually slide on the ground, that's for sure.
Yep. So if you're on floorboards or tiles, you could maybe use a plastic bag or a tea towel, something that slides around easily.
Yeah, a tea towel or a frisbee or something like that, you know, or maybe a like plastic plate flipped upside down.
Beautiful. So a few
there
ideas there.
Okay, well that is clock taps, or the harder version, the clock slides. So definitely give that one a go. Okay, so make sure you record your scores for the Y balance test, and don't forget to include those clock taps in your weekly exercise regime so you can practice your balance.
And if improving your balance is something that's important to you, definitely keep an eye on your email, because next week we'll be sending you a 5-minute balance workout that you can include in your exercise regime to to start building your balance.